Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am back with my latest review, continuing with the second chance cinema of sorts, like I did with my previous entry on this list, which is for The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I'll put that link in the description. This next film is one that initially I didn't care for, but gave it a second chance where I learned to like it, and on that second view, really enjoyed it. That film is The Dead Don't Die. So, The Dead Don't Die from 2018, written and directed by Jim Jarmusch, I believe is how his name is pronounced, who I am mainly familiar with from Only Lovers Left Alive, which I highly recommend. But before getting into the meat of this, it's worth pointing out that this is one of the most unexpected casts with one of the most diverse backgrounds. So check out this list. We've got Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Chloe Sevigny, I forget how to say her last name, Tom Waits, Steve Buscemi, Danny Glover, Caleb Landry Jones, who I know from Get Out and one of the X-Men films, RZA, Rosie Perez, Larry Fessenden, who was in Jacob's Wife. Check out the link in my review, link in my description to that review, which is very good. Carol Kane, Tilda Swinton, Selena Gomez, and Iggy frickin' Pop. I have no idea how this cast was brought together for this film, which really is the best way I would describe this film, is possibly as like an art house indie film taking us through the mundanity of a small town during a zombie apocalypse. So, of course, Tilda Swinton is the first name you would think of. Initially, when I saw this, though, I really didn't care for it. It took a strange and slow road the entire journey. The acting was very odd and kind of stuttered in a way. They broke the fourth wall quite a bit, and it seemed to just run off in one direction or another, kind of like some of my reviews do. Anyways, I was thinking going into it that it'd be more along the lines of like Zombieland or Burying the X, some other kind of like comedic horror movie in a way. But this had the indie feel, both in how the story was laid out as well as how the dialogue was delivered. And it really threw me off, and I could not get on board with this one. I initially thought that this was one just worth skipping entirely, but that cast and that director, that unusual way of putting everything together, I just figured I have to give this one another try. So I think the Blu-ray was on sale or something because, for like $10, because I could either pay $10 to own it or $6 to rent it at the time. So I went ahead and picked it up for this rewatch. And this time around, knowing what I was getting in for, I took to it much better. I got a lot more out of it than the first time, and I even, really enjoyed those strange fourth wall breaking exchanges. Also, the sheer amount of talent that went into producing a film, which much of it spends a good deal of time presenting scenes which are intentionally pretty vanilla and mundane, boring even. I think that's being done just to show how sleepy this little town is, nothing exciting ever happens, and how these characters live their lives. Understanding that is an important part of developing the story instead of something that I just thought was too slow kind of propped me up for this zombie outbreak getting more and more serious along the way. So as it moves from strange situation with one body to an entire grave site full of zombies coming back. So along with that, of course, are also the truly bizarre choices they made for these characters, particularly with Tilda Swinton's character, who I believe is like a Scottish mortician of sorts who, well, I'll leave some spoilers out, but she has a completely crazy reveal later on in the film about her character. And while I did not go from hate to love with this one like I did with The Nightmare Before Christmas, which, yes, I was able to fit into the shirt again, not as well as I would like, so that's why I'm seated, and you will not see a full body video of me. Anyways, so, I didn't go from that hate to love the way that I did with Nightmare Before Christmas. I went simply from a did not enjoy, recommend skipping to, well, this is a really strange one worth checking out. I feel like the second time I looked at the earlier slow areas differently. Think the first 100 to 150 pages of Salem's Lot, or many long, mundane stretches within a lot of Stephen King books, that the time is not supposed to be exciting or engaging. It's supposed to show you what typical day-to-day life is like in this town, so you connect and get pulled in when things go sideways. So if you go into this film prepared for that understanding, of knowing that this boring, uneventful stuff is being shown to you, so that way you have, a bigger division between that and when all the zombie stuff starts happening, I think you'll end up really enjoying it. You might have to handle like how some of the dialogue is kind of thrown around very strangely. I get this feeling that Some of the actors, especially Bill Murray and Adam Driver, I feel like they were just given a list of not even lines, but just descriptions of what their characters are roughly going to be talking about, and they just made it up on, on the fly. Sounds very natural for day-to-day conversation, but very unnatural for a movie. But if you're able to get through all that, I think you'd really enjoy this movie. And so there it is. Indie zombies, boring town, seemingly improvised dialogue, stuff thrown at you from left field, and just this movie is weird. Check it out. Just be prepared for something really different. And while I enjoyed it on my second and my third time, I can see this being hit or miss with a lot of people. I can understand someone really not liking it, but I hope you're able to find some enjoyment in it like I did. And speaking of enjoyment, I hope you were able to enjoy this video as well if you did. Here comes the usual YouTube stuff. Give me a thumbs up, some sort of a like, comment, be nice in those comments. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I sometimes upload 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes once every 2 or 3 weeks. So that bell icon will definitely be helpful in knowing when I have some new content up. And be sure to also share this around everywhere. It really does help out the channel a lot. But anyways, that's all I got for this other quick little video for the Second Chance Cinema here. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one.